Welcome along to our oily hour of power for Saturday, the 29th of March. I think it was. This one is being recorded in reverse. So I am going to do a session for you on supplements. Now, the way that I've chosen to do this one is we have a presentation to watch, and I'm going to talk through the presentation, and then at the end I'll just pop back on the screen and I will share physical things with you to see if you like. But yeah, I think you will enjoy this. So just going to share my screen. And let's do our little presentation, hey? Okay, so welcome along to my supplement story. And I want you to know that this is my story. This is a personal journey with this. This is not a direction for you to take as such, but I am sharing the information and the knowledge to help raise awareness. I probably should have checked to make sure that you can hear me. Hopefully you can. And to just really bring your awareness. I want to bring your awareness into your body and help you to look after yourself. Okay. So this is my supplement story. What we're going to go through is what you can see on your screen, but it's what is a supplement? Why would you want a supplement? Test versus guess. Tools to use, supplements that I actually use, where I get them from, and then just parting words to share with you. So I wanted to share what I believe a supplement is. And if we look it up in the dictionary, or you can look it up online, Wikipedia, whatever you want, I'm just going to move this up a bit. You will see that the word supplement is a noun and it means to add something in, right? It means that to me, it means that you are supporting your life in some way. So you have identified that you've got a deficiency or you've identified that you need a hand. And whatever it is, whatever tool it is that you're going to choose is going to enhance your human experiment. So if you can look at supplements in that particular way, what you will do is you will actually start to see that you are already supplementing a lot in your life, and that supplement isn't just a word that you associate with taking a pill or drinking a drink. You'll actually see that it is something that you are adding into your life, your whole existence, to actually support it, to complete it, and to support it. And that just, yeah, that will change your whole perception, okay? It will change how you look at everything, and it will help you to see that you're actually going okay. Click, click, come on, move. Now, why would you want to supplement? So, why do I do it? I do it to enhance physical performance. I like to move my body, and that is a supplement as well that supports my existence. But I want to be able to challenge my body and to do it in a way where I'm not continuously feeling sore, or do it in a way where I can do something that I thought that I couldn't do before. I do it to make myself feel good mentally and physically, emotionally. I use supplements in various forms to help myself feel good, and that's the idea behind it, right? It that way it's helping my body to operate, but remembering that we're not just the physical body, we're physical and we're metaphysical, which means that that means that we are what we can see, but we are also what we can't see, but we can feel it, or we are experiencing it in some way. Um, and that just helps me live life, right? Helps me on so many levels to live my life that bit better, especially when I started to see that a supplement was not just a pill or a potion or a tincture or a lotion, or yeah, just bear with me, you'll understand why in a minute. Now, I want you to understand that it is really important to test versus guess. Not everyone is able to intuitively know what it is that their body needs. Many people have been programmed, trained, educated, brought up to ignore intuition or to ignore that inner knowing, and that is okay. All right, that will start to develop in people, in yourself. As you become more aware of yourself, you will just start to know, oh, I don't feel so great. What did I eat yesterday? Oh, I don't feel so good. What did I smell today? Oh, I don't feel so great. What can I smell today? Or my body is hurting, and you just like, my body's hurting. What does it need? Okay, and that's ways that you can bring your intuition into things. But it is always good to, yeah, test versus guess. Now, testing doesn't necessarily always mean blood tests or some sort of test. What it does start with is that observation or awareness. Now, what I mean by that um, is what I just said before, right? It's becoming aware. How do I feel? And what may have contributed externally to how I feel, or internally, because at the same time, our own thoughts can be causing us grief. Our digestion system can be causing us grief, or maybe there's something happening inside our body that we just aren't aware of straight away, that is talking to us in us not feeling good, right? Records. You want to be able to keep records for yourself. So this is where a journal, a diary, a notepad, whatever you want, this is what you use that for. So I didn't put journaling there because some people see that word and think that it's hard when really it's not. So I wrote records instead. Records are your daily log of what's happening to you. Records are your daily log of what the sky looks like outside. Farmers do this, right? They keep a record of what what the day was like. They keep a record of what the weather was like. So you are your own farmer. You're looking after this thing. So your record is, what's it like outside today? Okay, well, the sun is really beautiful. I'm looking out my window at the moment while I'm talking to you guys, and there's a blue sky. It feels warm. There's no weird smells in the air. It's that sort of stuff, right? There's a little bit of noise happening because I'm tidying up from my weekend at work, and yeah, so it's that sort of record, right? I also feel okay. When I first woke up this morning, my eyes were a little bit gritty. My tongue looked fine. I went and did my training and I felt nice and strong. Maybe you go for a walk, maybe you go for a swim, maybe you just get up and congratulate yourself because you made it to another day, or you go, oh God, I'm still here. That's up to you, right? But just make a note, because the next point of history is the tool, okay? So history is your history, but also maybe your genetic history. So you might know that your immediate um, your immediate nuclear family, they call it. So your immediate family, you've got some kind of genetic stuff that you want to write down, jot that down. Okay, that's your family history. One of those can be that predominantly your family has never felt good. Maybe they've not felt good physically, mentally, financially, um, emotionally, like that. Just record your history. And as you create records, you are creating history. So get a texter and write the date on the front of your book. Okay, I've got multiple diaries. When I die, someone's probably going to burn everything, but um, there's so many books, right? And there's so much information. I write everything in there, but that's me. Maybe you're just starting, so wherever you're at, just start. Now, the other thing that you want to do is you want to have some personal goals. So why supplement, or why start to do anything really if you don't have a reason to do it? So do you want to what have I seen? The smiling enthusiast. Her thing is that she wants to hold the Guinness World Record for living the longest, I think it is. So that's her personal goal. Maybe your personal goal is to live a day free from pain. So I would encourage you to put that as live a day feeling good, feeling complete, feeling whole. So this way it could be physical or mental. Personal goals for me get really nitty gritty, and then when I set goals really small, I find myself driving myself really hard. So be mindful of your own personality, of your own internal competitiveness when you start to set your personal goals, and set yourself goals that you feel comfortable with, remembering that it's a human experiment, really. I'm sharing with you how to conduct your own experiment, hence all the scientific stuff, but personal goals. So think about it, write it down. So you've got your observations, you've got your records, which you're going to keep daily or weekly. I would recommend daily when you first get started, because you want to write down what you ate, how you feel, what you've been drinking, and start to self-reflect. Ask yourself, why did you eat that? So if you're continuously eating shitty food, why did you eat that? Because maybe there's a craving there that you can work on later. Okay, so that's getting into the other stuff. And then if we jump to basic tests, now there are some basic tests that you can get done that I recommend pretty much everyone to do. And it's up to you, the frequency, okay, and who you work with in terms of getting these sort of testing done. But your basic tests are going to be learn about the inside of your body. We know that we're made up of blood and fluid and mucus and all this amazing stuff. So test it, right? You can go to the doctor or any doctor, or you can organise it yourself, and you can get, later on I'll tell you a few places to go to, but you can get full blood tests. You want a full blood screen, and you want to make sure that you're checking your kidneys and your liver function. Maybe you can do a respiratory test, so checking your young lung function, and you want to check your glucose and things like that. So blood, urine, maybe you're going to do a breath test for a few other things, not alcohol, but breath test. And maybe you do a stool test depending on what it is that you want to work with, but just have a set of basic tests, all right? So baseline, and then from there you can go, oh, okay, I thought I was actually tired all the time, and I thought it was because I wasn't eating enough food, but when it turns out I'm actually lacking B6 or B12 or B vitamins, or maybe I've got low iron, or maybe my hormones have changed and something funky's going on, right? So that basic testing will give you that. It's just a baseline, and from there you just build your protocol, okay? Sort shit out. We'll go from there. So tools, you've got self tools and you've got external tools. This is why I've done it in two ways. So remember, we're talking about supplementation here, which is supporting the life and enhancing our life. Use your daily notes. Ask, how do I feel today? It's a bit of a repeat of what I just said. Pay attention to your body. Get specific with this. If you frequently need to go to the bathroom to urinate, when? And straight away, you're not going to be so great with this, but over a period of time, you'll start to notice your own patterns, right? And there's lots of videos and information out there now. So this is what I notice with me, right? If I drink coffee that's not great coffee, because there's lots of coffee that's actually moldy, if I drink coffee that's not great coffee, within a short period of time, I need to go to the bathroom, and that I need to go wee. So when you are weeing, that is your kidney function, and it's flushing toxicity. It's gone, whoa, hang on a minute, you've put something in that we want to get rid of. Let's get rid of it. If you need to go to the toilet and poo, that's a different process, because that takes a little bit more time than just the kidney flush sometimes. So yeah, pay attention to that sort of stuff is what I'm getting at. And the other thing too, as an indicator, because I had this come up across the weekend as well, not for me, but for people that I was working with, is sweat. Do you notice, now I'm not talking hot flush hormonal stuff, right? I'm talking, is there a point in your day where maybe you eat something or you take something and you feel sweaty or hot? Because that's another indicator to your body that something else is going on. Or if you're working out, do you get sweaty? And do you know when you get sweaty in the workout? And at the same time, do you smell? Okay, so that's what I mean by self-tools, self-testing. What does your skin look like? Your eyes, your tongue, they're basic diagnostics. If you're not sure about that, you need to ask me. Otherwise, I'm just telling you to suck eggs. So externally, now, in terms of external tools that you can use to test, you can use an iTovi scanner. So I have an iTovi scanner. These little things are portable. They connect via Bluetooth to your phone. Because I utilize doTERRA, these are set up for doTERRA, but I know that you can set the iTovi up with different companies. And the way that they work is it's bioresonance and frequency based. So it is scanning your body just like a Fitbit does or a watch does that you're all probably wearing now, you know, your My Health records or whatever it is, your health stuff. I didn't put those on there, but they're good tools too. But the iTovi, I find I can just scan, and I only scan myself every few days or when I'm not feeling so great, and that gives me a little report. And then what I have done is I've learnt enough to look at what the report is telling me because it comes up with product recommendations. But I can look at those recommendations and go, okay, I know that that particular supplement has turmeric in it, frankincense, resveratrol, a few other things. And that probably makes sense because my brain has been a bit slow, or maybe my body is a bit sorer than normal, or perhaps I've got nerve twitches, right? Which I don't get that often, but some people do. So that's how I use the iTovi. You can also use other bioresonance scanners and devices. There's like the ones that you can see at the gyms now, gymnasiums. You go into fitness centers, you go into there. Even some, oh, there's a hairdresser in town that's got one of these too, of course, with Vanity. But you can go to these places and you can use them as an external tool. The ones that I've used fitness wise, you just stand on metal plates, you're hanging on to metal plates. It always makes me giggle because I think it's going to send an electric charge through my body, which it sort of does. And it reads the intracellular fluid and a whole heap of other things, and then it spits you out your weight, your height. Some of them give you a bio age. They're going to give you how much muscle have you got, how much fat have you got, how much water's on board, like all that sort of jazz, right? The iTovi scanner and some of the other bioresonance scanners, they don't do that. But then when you go that next level and you want to check out what's going on body composition wise, then you can go use those ones. You can also use testing sticks, like this is where you pee on a stick. It's going to tell you the pH level in your body. So if you're looking to alkalize versus be a little bit, sometimes you get over acidic and you get different symptoms. I get mouth ulcers, but you can use your pH sticks for that. If you want to go down the keto track or you want to do fasting, intermittent fasting and things, keto sticks are pretty good. You can use a blood sugar device if you're someone that's got to prick your finger and check what's going on with your blood pressure. So this is all your external testing that you're probably going somewhere else to get done maybe every 3 months, or for some of you, you're probably going to the doctor weekly. But these are tools that you can get access to, right? You can buy your own blood pressure machine. You can get your little finger pulse thingy. You've got your watch, which gives you information. So this is all go into your records, right? And this is why this is like building a case for why I supplement and what, then I can test myself and see what's going on. Because test versus guess. Get a glucose monitor, constant glucose monitor. So you'll see them now around. There's a few different ones. There's one that I'm affiliated with. If you work with me as your practitioner, I can actually see what's happening as well as you. And it goes onto the back of your arm. You wear it for 14 days or however long. Diabetics have been using this for a while. You pop it on and you scan it with your phone. You can see what's going on. The other then is to get your blood tests done and other body tests. So that's the breath and the urine tests, all that sort of stuff that I talked about before. But getting those tests done, they're external and they can be basic, just baseline markers, or they can be extensive if you've got a lot of reasons to need that extra support. Now, this is what I use, and at the same time, I'm going to tell you how often I use things, okay? Because I talked about what I supplement with and when. I'll probably do that a little bit more at the end, but I'll talk about this now. So given the definition for me that I use of supplements supporting my life to help me with my own personal goals, then this is how I look at what supplements are, okay? Herbs. So to me, herbs are plants. They are dried plants, or they are living plants, or they are food. So coffee is a herb to me. Teas. When I say drink a herbal tea, I don't mean go make yourself a cup of tea, you know. There's, oh, B, I don't like tea. Well, I don't care. If the herbs are going to help you, it's not really a cup of tea to sit there and have fun with. It's tea that you boil up and make, and maybe you make it in a big batch. So it's a really big bottle, like a litre bottle, and you store it in the fridge and you drink 2 to 3 cups of that across 3 to 4 days. Like, when I refer to teas, that's what I mean. That it's not just a nice little thing to have, because the idea with supplement is to support the body until your records tell you that you're feeling good. You've ticked that marker, then take it out. Food is another thing. Don't just stuff your face all the time. Begin to become aware of your body. How are you using food to support your body? This is a big thing for me, which is why it's up the top. I have a love-hate relationship with food. It's come from a lifetime of trying to control what I look like and how I feel. So with food, I need to remember it's not just fuel and it's not just something that's not a necessity. You actually need to, and this is me talking to myself, right? You actually need to consume to be able to perform. And I know that because I see my performance the next morning when I go and do my training. I've either got heaps of energy and I can push through, or I feel like crap and I've got no energy. So herbs to me includes food because I eat lots of plants. Um, if you eat a variety of food, you want all the colors and you want to make sure that you've got lots of different flavors. So I will not say don't have sweet, but be mindful of how you create sweet flavor. Yeah, sweet taste. Alrighty, so that's all I'll say about food now. All right, liquids I use now. When I say liquids, it's tinctures, it's oils, as in essential oils or olive oil and coconut oil, things like that, and it's also water. So I use a Blue Lotus tincture at the moment. This is one of the tinctures that I'm using. And when I use that Blue Lotus tincture, I am using it in the morning when I have cacao or a coffee. And at the same time, I am using lion's mane tincture, and I get that from Touchwood Mushrooms. And I'm using lion's mane at the moment to help me with my cognitive function because I am learning a lot in a very short period of time. So I'm continuously putting a load on my brain. And for that reason, I want it to be strong and healthy and to repair the neural pathways that I keep pushing to the nth degree with the lack of sleep or with doing things that stress it. So yeah, I use lion's mane. Blue Lotus is for me assisting me to keep myself up and above the mundane and up and out of the muck, if that makes sense, because that's what lotus flower does anyway. Water. Water is classified as a supplement to me. It's supporting my lifestyle, so I want to make sure I drink good quality water. I don't drink tap water. If I am desperate, I will drink tap water, but it's not something that I would drink every single day. Why? Because we don't what how, yeah, let's not go there. I also was given a little hydrogenation machine as a Christmas present by a friend, and I will often do that. So that's that blue light thing that hydrogenizes the water. It does taste different, and can I say that I feel any different from drinking it? Yes and no. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit more hydrated, so that's why I use it than just drinking plain bottled water or filtered water. And then I will also put things in my water. So I might put lemon essential oil in the morning or lemon the fruit. I use some of my supplements in a powder form that way. We'll talk about that in a minute. But water is important. So yes, it's a necessity, but I also choose how I bring that into my body. And there's also a thing called water therapy where you don't do this every day, but you probably should. But when you first get up in the morning, before you drink anything else, you want your cup of warm water with lemon in it. But you can also drink a litre to a litre and a half. Now, don't do this if you're someone that's got kidney issues or you're working with a doctor for something severe, but just in general, right? This is what I do when I do water therapy because it helps flush toxins out and hydrate my body. So get up and have a litre to a litre and a half of water before I drink or eat anything else. And then there's an hour before I do that. And then of an evening, I will do it again, at least 2 hours before I go to bed. but you've got to remember you need that hour away from food. So you're sort of flushing your system. That's liquid therapy, or water therapy, sorry. Whole heap of other things that you could probably put in the liquid section, but I don't personally use them, so I'm not going to talk about it. This is my supplement routine. Lozenges. Now, I do use lozenges, and I'm a big believer in lozenges and powders versus pills. So I'm transitioning away from some of the supplements at the moment that are pill-based for me. But lozenges, I use a hard lozenge. So when I say that, I mean like the On Guard and the Easy Air lozenges, sometimes a ginger lozenge if I don't feel so great in my tummy and I'm traveling. That's what I mean by a hard lozenge. So a hard lozenge is one you suck on, stays in your mouth for a while, versus soft lozenges. So I use the On Guard chewable tablets. They are like a lozenge to me or a powder. They're in between because you chew them, so they're staying in your mouth. And the action of chewing them, same as with the other lozenge I'll talk to you about in a minute, it maintains connection with the mucosa under your tongue, on the inside of your mouth. Ideally, when you're chewing, you're breathing a little bit as well. You don't hold your breath. So you've got that whole section. The nose and the throat are connected. So you've got that entire section. And that is a fantastic avenue for getting nutrients into your body. Okay. Especially with a lot of people that I meet at the moment, their guts aren't working properly. They haven't for a long time. It can be any section of your gut. I don't mind which one is mucking up. I know that if I don't feel so great, I'd rather have a smoothie. So smoothies actually for me go into liquids as well, and maybe in with teas. But these are my order of preference for in terms of how I get nutrients into my body and support my body's functionality that way. Then I've got my powders. So, actually, sorry, before I shift on, the other lozenge that I actually use quite a lot is by Seeking Health, and it's the brain nutrients lozenge. Now, it's got niacin in it, folate as the calcium folinate, which we actually absorb versus folic acid. Vitamin B12, magnesium, and zinc, as well as a few other brain nutrients like royal jelly. And royal jelly is really important in my little realm because I don't like egg yolk, and yeah, there's stuff that I don't eat, right? And I need it to come in. There's PQQ in this as well, and thiamine phosphate, pyrophosphate. It's a nutrient from a company called Seeking Health. I really like the work that Ben does, Ben Lynch, and it helps my brain. So the way that it helps my brain is firstly, it helps me to kick into gear. I take it with another pill called Optimal Focus, but it's easily absorbed. So they're helping me to maintain focus. But the other way the brain nutrient works is if I go out on a fire call out, for example, and I'm around something that's really gassy and or even if I go somewhere and it's really stinky, I should have taken some of these with me when I went to Brisbane. But um, if there's something that really impacts my function, my capacity for my body to function effectively, which can often come by strong chemical smells for me, then I will use that brain nutrient. And or the gallbladder nutrient. And what I find is that instantly upon taking those, I don't get the migraine and I continue to feel good, right? Um, all right, pills. I use lots of pills. Probably a bit of a supplement junkie. Now, the thing that I want you to understand is that with the supplements, right? With anything in your life, you want to cycle it. So, yes, I know you get taught to take your multivitamin every single day, but you want to allow your body to adjust and to tell you what it needs. So I do use the lifelong vitality system at the moment. I will be changing to a powder-based multi-nutrient because I want to be able to hold it in my mouth. When I take my multi-nutrient or my nutrient powder for the day, I will take it in the morning and I tend to take it after I have done my training workout. So the other thing that I will put into that at the same time is the collagen powder, the hydrolyzed collagen powder from doTERRA, MetaPower. and I will be using their recharge, but at the moment I use a Seeking Health Optimal Electrolyte, and I'll use that as well. So I take my supplements like that, these particular ones. So this is bouncing around a little bit. Sorry, guys. So what I do is, oh yeah, let's just do this. I take these supplements, these bodybuilding supplements. Now, when I say bodybuilding, I don't mean that you go into the gym, get bulky. I mean, use your brain to engage with your body, or use your mind to engage with your body, and understand that everything that you do to your body, you have to build it, right? You're building cells because they're dying and being used for something else or flushed out all the time. So whatever you put in and on your body and up your nose, you are using to build your body. So that's bodybuilding, right? When I want to use my supplements to help my body rebuild, which is nearly every day, especially as you get older, then I take them after I do the stressful activity. So my stressful activities, as in strenuous on the body, tend to last no longer than an hour to maybe 2 hours. If you're someone that's doing long-term running and things like that, then you need to look at supplementing that differently. I'm talking about me. So I take my supplements after I do the strenuous activity, and then I will also take them again, not the multi-nutrient because it's got a bit of an upper in it, because I'm pretty sure it's got ginkgo or something like that, something that keeps my brain active anyway. So I will take a different lot, but still the collagen support and the hydration of an evening as well. Why do I do that? Because in the morning after I've done the strenuous activity, I want to give my body what it needs to repair itself, and I want to do it in a form where it will absorb it the best. Then of an evening, what we know is that overnight the body does its dump and rebuild process. It's repairing itself while your subconscious mind has gone to sleep. So your brain is dumping and doing work and upgrading. Your body is doing the same. Cellular level, everything is changing overnight. Metaphysically, that happens too. So you want to have your supplements after you do your strenuous activity, so your body gets what it needs, and then definitely in the evening. Okay, so maybe you might have them with your nighttime meal. Now, that's the next thing. The majority of the supplements that I use in terms of what we're looking at on the screen before we get to movement and things, right? So the majority of the supplements that I use, I will have with food. I will either have them just before it or after it. The reason for that is that it assists with digestion process. Obviously, I'm using the mucosa in my mouth when I'm using powders and tinctures and teas and liquids and lozenges, because I know that my body's going to absorb it and utilize it faster. But if it's a pill or something that I take that's going to go into my stomach and into the rest of my gut area, then I have it with food. And why? Because it helps, right? There's fat soluble components in some of your vitamins and minerals that need fat to help release the amino acid, the nutrient, whatever, into the system. And that helps your body to recognize how to do that. Now, when you're choosing your supplements, just speaking of absorption, do your best to know which supplements are bioavailable, which means which supplements and oils and tinctures and teas does your body recognize as a chemical that is known to it. So it's a natural chemical or it's a organic chemical. And which are foreign. So if you are someone who is taking medication which has been created for you, just know that your body may not necessarily recognize it. So hence that's why they also get you to take it with food, often with food, not always, but often with food. Why? Because your body recognizes the food. Ideally, your stomach acid, which is pretty brutal, has broken down the encapsulation of said product, and then it'll get digested with everything else. That's the theory. Okay. That's a brief touch on powders. Pills, like I said, I use a variety of pills. I will be using the VMG powder. There's 4 at the moment that I'm experimenting with, but VMG so far is pretty good. I use a magnesium powder. and I use an electrolyte. These are powder forms, but I will also be shifting pill-wise. I'll also be shifting probably to the frankincense capsules, which are frankincense essential oil plus the boswellic acid. So I'm pretty excited about that. I also use turmeric and black pepper and herbs. I forgot to put herbs on there. Oh, herbs is the thing. I meant spices. Forgot to put spices on there. Okay. Movement. Movement is a supplement. Why? Because it is supporting my body to achieve my personal goals of actually staying alive, being able to do the things that I want to do, and doing things that I want to do that maybe somebody else doesn't want to do. I would love to be able to do to walk on my hands or to be able to do, just random stuff like swinging off monkey bars or be really strong. I like to feel strong. I like to still be able to go walking. I'm not a runner. But if something's chasing me, then yep, happy days, I'll run. But I want to be able to move around for as long as I can. So movement for me is medicine as well. And movement that I use is I do a combination training in the morning, which utilizes all of my body, cardiovascular function as well as strength training. Sometimes I will do some specific strength or muscular building training. So I've noticed at the moment I need to do a little bit more focused muscular development on my upper body. So I will go and do movements that focus on that. I do yoga as much as I can. I like to attend classes because I'm not always motivated to do it myself. Actually, that's not true. I will do it myself, but for some weird reason, I feel that when I go to a class, I've done it. Whereas if I do it myself, because I know how to do it and I know how to teach it, if I do it myself, I don't feel like I've done a workout. Weird, right? Mental thing that I've got to work on. But movement is important. It's medicine. Um, Walking, lots of people do steps. I just walk to make sure I move. I swim. Swimming helps me mentally and physically. I swim in the ocean, which gives me that little bit of what else is in here every now and then. You gotta do things that scare you a little bit. Um, not saying it scares me, but it puts a really interesting feeling through my body when my imagination runs away with me and I think, oh, do I really want to swim over that really dark patch of seaweed? Because I don't know what's in it. So you swim really fast over that bit. It's crazy, right? And then you can still see beneath you. That doesn't change the fact that there could be something there. But anyway, it's fun. So it gives me the mental release. You can't talk to anyone when you're in the water, not on the phone or whatever, emails, Facebook, it's a release. It gives me the physical movement, which is important to me to be able to process my emotions, my thoughts. I've got to move. And it also ticks the box in it, keeps me healthy and stuff as well. I think that's it with movement. Functional training, swimming, bit of walking. If I'm somewhere where if I'm somewhere where I can't actually do what I would normally do movement wise, then I will do 20 jump squats. So if you can't do jump squats, just bounce. I'll do a little bit of bouncing as well, like the rebound bouncing, not skipping, rebound bouncing, but skipping is good too. And I'll do some push-ups. So I'll either do push-ups off the floor or push-ups off the wall. Who am I kidding? I do them off the floor. And there's a little 7-minute yoga routine that I do as well. So that then gives me my movement for the day. Sleeping, again, interesting journey for someone like me, but it is there to support my life. So for me to be able to make sure that I do these things properly, I've put sleep in as a supplement. It supports me. Yes, it's a necessity for the human body, but if I see it as a supplement, I can structure it in and I'm good at following a structure. So as long as I created it. But the sleep side of it, I need to be aware of how much sleep do I actually need. And that includes day sleeps, or rest, quiet time. Tell Beaky it's quiet time. So I will actually have 15 to 20 minutes where I just shut myself down at least once during the day and I listen to a meditation, which is just music. but I've trained my body to know that as soon as it hears that particular music, switches off, has a rest, and then as soon as that music finishes, I'm up and going again. So it's okay to do that, especially if you're putting a demand on your mind and your body. I use the elements. These are my supplements as well. So when I say water, that's also ice. I use cold water exposure. I find that that helps my body and my mind quite a lot. I haven't done any ice baths in the last month, but normally I'll do one at least once a fortnight, if not once a week. The golden number with that is 11 minutes of cold water exposure, and the cold water only needs to be, I don't want to say don't quote me, but I know it's 11 minutes, at least 11 minutes. Doesn't need to be any more than 15 minutes, but 11 minutes across a whole week. And the water, you want the water to be below 10 degrees. So you don't need to be extreme. You can be, but you don't need to be, especially for women, okay? But that's the magic number. Why? Because that helps their body to snap into that apoptosis, get rid of what it doesn't need. You've got these little Pac-Men that run around your body. They chew up all of the spent cells and convert it into something else or get rid of it. And you want that when you have malfunctioning cells within your body, because you don't want those cells to congregate and decide to become something else. So water is very important. Water also covers showers. So be mindful of the water that you're putting on your body. If you can, get a filter for your shower or bathe in fresh water. I swim, like I said, I swim in the ocean. If I was not near an ocean, I would try and find a lake or a river to swim in before I go to a swimming pool because of the chemicals. The chlorine's really strong. I use fire. Fire fascinates me, but fire in terms of fire energy, so feeling the heat churn in my body, helps to support my body to perform at optimum. So that's making sure I get a little bit of chili and cayenne pepper, those sort of things. That's fire because it's spicy. But also fire as in fire, light a fire. In winter, it's fantastic, right? Light your fire, burn your stuff, release your stuff. That's a support to me. So therefore, that's a supplement. Air, use breath work, or just be mindful of the air that you breathe inside and outside, remembering that the air inside may be more toxic than the air outside. So open your windows every now and then, get the fresh air flowing. Keep this on me. Earth, grounding, dig in your garden. It's movement to me as well, but just, yeah, get outside and get on the ground. If you're in a unit, you don't have a garden or you've got no interest in that sort of stuff, just go for a walk somewhere. And then ether is the spirit side. So that is a supplement. It's a support to you being an effective human. So whatever your spirit practice is, maintain with that. And then the final thing for me in terms of a supplement that I use is meditation. Now, how do I use meditation? I can get my mind to be quiet now. Rare, but I can. So meditation to me is not chanting or sitting there holding hands or lighting candles or keeping my brain still. What meditation is, I learned how to do transcendental meditation. I learned other meditations too, and I know guided meditations. But the one that has made the biggest difference for me is transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation is focusing your mind on a mantra, which is worked out for you, right? You just focus your mind for 20 minutes on that mantra. And when your mind wanders off, that's okay. You just bring your mind back to that mantra and keep repeating the mantra in your head. And you will notice that when you do that twice a day, so 2 lots of 20 minutes in the morning and then in the afternoon, when you start to do that and you've done it for 3 or 4 days in a row, you will feel calmer. Even if you can only get the 20 minutes in the morning, it just helps to settle your whole nervous system, your body. You can be in some extreme situations, but if you are able to do your self-calming, which is meditation, you will be able to cope with whatever stress is thrown at you in that 24-hour period. And meditation is the one thing that you can control. So you can't necessarily get access to everything that's on this list, But the one thing that you can do, sleep you can do, but sometimes you might be deprived of sleep. You can get to water most of the times in your liquid, but it might not be your preference. The one thing that you can do extremely well, which will support your life, is your meditation. Okay. So tap in with that. Chat with me if you want to find out a little bit more about transcendental meditation, or just look it up. It doesn't mean that you go out there in the ether somewhere, or that you're floating on a cloud or whatever. A transcendental meditation is an awareness of the body and an understanding at a deeper level of what's actually happening in your body when you get thoughts. It's just a process happening in your body. It doesn't mean you've got to act on it. But yeah, there's heaps of really cool stuff, right? But it can be as simple as that. Or it could be put on a talk, a guided meditation talk that just guides you through a journey and then back out of it again. Or maybe it's just someone maybe it's your own voice. You can use this to help you with goals. You can record yourself speaking and use that as your meditation. The idea with meditation is to remove you from your external world, bring you into your internal world, and just keep you quiet for a little bit. I can hear the boys barking. Okay, so where from here? Just a little disclaimer, right? Some of the things that I share with you, some of the products that I share with you, some of the techniques that I share with you, some of the tools that I share with you, I get a little bit of a kickback for. Some things I don't. Use your discernment. I'm not your coach unless I am. And if you're only just starting out on this journey in terms of looking after yourself and beginning to bring supports into your life, look for people that you can work with. So that could be a healthcare provider. It could be a health coach. It could be a counselor, because remember, meditation is in there and we're talking about ways that you support your life to be the best version of yourself. Could be a nutritionist, a naturopath, doctor that works. Ideally, you want a team, right? Or you want someone that can help you with the majority of those. Or just learn how to do it, right? I learn from a variety of different sources and then I put it all together and I do what works for me. Same thing's going to happen for you. These are the brands that I use. I use Seeking Health, I use doTERRA, I use Metagenics, I use Hide and Soak, I use SFI is a scientifically produced magnesium that I use sometimes. You can only get it if you're a health practitioner, but just ignore that, right? I use SFI Health. I use Fern and Lily. Fern and Lily is where I get some of my teas from, my dry herbs to make my teas, but it's also where I get my tinctures from. I use Touchwood mushrooms. I use Before You Speak coffee. I don't have that all the time, but it's a little coffee sachet that's better than International Roast and you can travel with it. But it includes things like MCT, turmeric, ginseng, things that are good for my brain, me, right? You do what works for you. I use bulk nutrients sometimes to get some powders and stuff from. I use my local health food shop. I use Macro Mike. I just got a heap of Macro Mike stuff to try again. I use a Queensland herb provider. I think it's Herb Cottage. I can't remember. That's why I've put that in there. I use Mother Nature outside, get the sun on your skin, bounce around, do your stuff. I go to local farmers markets. I use the local soil place here. I go to the local bookshop to buy my books. I use my iTovi. I can give you a referral link if you want to get your own iTovi. That's cool because then it gives me a kickback. I also use iScreen and iMedical to be able to get blood tests and other sort of tests done. I'm able to do that from a experience and education perspective, but I'm pretty sure you can order your own through there as well if you know what you're looking for. And last but not least, I'm my own doctor. I am my own nutritionist. I am my own naturopath. I am my own functional health coach, but I learn. Okay, I learn from a variety of sources, and if I need support, I will go and get it. So the key for you is to begin your journey learning how to use the body that you have, but to remember that you don't do it alone. You go out there and get some help. Okay. Now, this is my parting words. In everything you do your best to feel good, right? The idea is to feel good. And just remember, put things into context, right? We're walking around, sitting, existing on a rock made up of a variety of components, spinning around on its own, so it's spinning on its own axis, and then it's rotating in an oblong type orbit around the sun. So it's an unsymmetrical orbit, which means that it's shifting continuously, and it is shifting. This is why the weather patterns change. It's not what we do as humans, it's the way that the planet is shifting, and it's going to change. And it's hurtling in a direction into some faraway space that really none of us even know what it is. So when you think of things that way, it often helps you to understand that at the end of the day, we're not getting off the planet unless we die. And we're in a game, I think, or in some experience and journey, and we've got this physical human body. We're all a similar species. So how are we going to look after it? And then, yeah, that's where your support or your supplements come into it, and see your supplements as everything that you use to support your life. So that's the training for today. I'm going to finish this off. Oh, thanks for coming along. I will stop sharing my screen. Hey, you're back to me again. All right. Not sure how long this has taken me. Oh, well, tell me when I'm finished. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Like I said, right, I use a variety of stuff. I've got a little travel pouch. This is where I put my supplements and stuff in. But yes, supplements are everything that you use, right? They're the oils, the essential oils, they're the lozenges, they're the, oops, go back to that for a minute. They're the coffee sachets that I was talking about. They're the brain lozenges that I was talking about. There's powders on my desk. There's water in a big container. It's also the stuff that you put on your skin. Okay. This supports me. It supports me to be able to do the jobs that I want to do. Yeah, the MetaPower sachets, the Recharge sachets, these guys go together for me in the morning, along with, yeah, some other things. So hopefully I've given you enough information on what a supplement is, why would you supplement, how would you supplement. Remember to test, don't guess. Keep your records, look at your own history, understand some of your genetic history, but again, look at your own. You can use your devices to test your body to see how you're going. My preference is to look at that list of supplements, and use them in that order. So pills are probably last. So you want things that will absorb, even inhale. That's why essential oils tend to be so good, especially for shifting mental states. Yep, so in the mornings I'll use, and like I said, right, if I'm not doing something strenuous, I still have my supplements in the morning. I use them morning and night, but I will use them with food, except for my, like when I first get home from training, or if I've been out in the garden and busted myself, or if I've gone for a big swim, I'll come home and either make a smoothie and or take my powder sachet supplements with water, and that's the morning thing done. I add greens in there as well. Like that's a whole other topic. That's like making smoothies and the ingredients and different things. But I will, yeah, always take pill-based supplements with food if possible. The only exception to that is when I use tissue salts to help boost different minerals in the body. That's something that needs to be taken away from food. So there's rare cases where you need to do it separately, but you'll know, right? So in the majority of cases, you take in your supplements with your food and you want to split it up and have it across the day twice. If I'm doing really super strenuous activity, I'll have 2 lots of the powder supplements. So that's the electrolyte, the collagen supplement that I'm using, the MetaPower one, because to me it's a connective fiber, connective tissue, and I'll put into that either a plant-based powder or a greens powder, or I'll whip it into a smoothie with some spinach and dandelion leaves, that sort of stuff, right? And herbs. So if I've done super strenuous activity, and been working outside in the heat. Doesn't happen that often for me, but working outside in the heat or done heaps and heaps of exercise or done heaps of yard work, whatever, I'll double up on that particular liquid supplement. But otherwise, it's morning, late afternoon, early evening, and otherwise that's it. You can overload your body with supplements, and sometimes it's good to have a little rest. Ben talks about that from Seeking Health. He talks about cycling your supplements. You have them, you feel really good. So you have them again the next day, you still feel really good. You have them again the third day, you feel shit. Taking it too much. So you have your supplement, have a rest. Have your supplement, have a rest. Have your supplement for 7 days because you're under a lot of stress, and then all of a sudden you're not. Have a rest. So, yeah, awareness is your key. Pay attention to your body. Keep your records. Keep smiling. Don't take life too seriously. And I will talk to you guys again soon.